Hey everyone, this podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts at patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hi everybody.
Hello everyone.
My name is David Bell.
I'm Tom Ryman.
And we just watched The Hate You Give.
The Hate You Give.
Yeah, also known as I'm Not Crying, You're Crying. You're crying. Shut up. I'm not crying.
Out of the car.
Yo, Star, you okay?
Go back where he told you. Khalil, I'm not playing. Go back where... What did you do?
Today, Garden Heights is reeling after the shooting of a 17-year-old black teenager by a white police officer.
We live in a complicated world.
It doesn't seem that complicated to me.
This movie was brutal.
Yeah, what did you think? What did you think, Tom?
That's really good.
It's very good. Yeah, when did this come out?
I want to say 2017 or it
Okay.
might have been 2018. I remember it getting a lot of buzz when it was in the theater, and it was only a year or two ago.
Okay. Well, real quick
2018.
2018. Before we
Yeah.
dive in, this is brought to you by a patron, a subscriber of ours, John Carmack, who also gave us See You Yesterday. If you remember us reviewing that one, we have a patron tier where people can tell us what movies to watch and then do a we just watched about it. So this is the second one from John. Yeah. So who I mean, I don't want to say wants to torture us because this was a really good movie. It's just a very emotional movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's man.
Yeah. This movie, if people haven't seen it, it's about a young black girl named Star who's grew up. Where does this take place? I should know.
I'm not sure. I thought it was LA, but
maybe it didn't look like
it didn't
LA.
really look like LA. Garden Heights?
Garden Heights.
I don't know where that is.
I think it's I don't know if it's based off a real. I mean, it might be based off a real place that's really obvious, and we just don't know. But it's basically a young girl who witnesses her friend get shot by the police, and it's a very it's the kind of police shooting you read about all the time, and it sparks like a Ferguson style protest. Where all this pressure is on her as a witness. Now, if you remember See You Yesterday, the other movie John made us watch, that is also about a young girl who watches her friend get shot by the police.
It's her brother in
Her brother,
See You
yeah.
Yesterday, yeah.
Which you see a theme going. See You Yesterday, the reason I bring it up, not just because it's a similar plot, but because what I had said about See You Yesterday, I remember, was that it's a time travel movie. And it becomes this elaborate, weird time travel movie about it, where I believe one of the criticisms I had of it was like, just do a straight up movie about this happening to somebody. You don't need to put time travel in. It's emotional enough, and that's basically what this movie is. It's just showing what's happening to these people's like who are close to the event. And it is heavy.
It's pretty. I looked up Garden Heights. It is a fictional neighborhood.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense because it seems like it's supposed to be like a Ferguson type location.
Yeah, but yeah, this movie is pretty damn heavy.
Yeah, it is. It's got some like. When I say that I'm not crying, you're crying, I teared up a few times in this movie, and most of the times I teared up, and I think this is just me, how I function, because I don't tear up when people like die in movies. When a character dies, not usually. It's more like the moments of like when the dad, the father who's great in it.
Yeah, he was also he's the shitty brother from, or shitty son from Fences.
No, I gotta watch that again.
Is he the son? He's Lyons in Fences, the guy who shows up and wants money.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, he's great and he's excellent in this movie.
Yeah, like the part where he fucking drags them all out of the car and tells them to
makes
fight
them
for
line up on the grass. Yeah,
yeah, like shit like that. Like this isn't just tragedy.
No, it's mostly not, actually. I mean, the tragedy is the inciting incident, but it's about a lot more than that, like family and community and the cycle of
it's Crash, but better. Because I think
Crash, but good.
Crash, but good. Crash it's not the same subject matter, but Crash was trying to tackle racism from this like every angle approach where you see it from all the characters' point of view. And this movie, what I like about it is it doesn't quite have to do that. Like it has like white characters in it who are like trying their best. The boyfriend trying his best.
Oh, bless his heart. He was actually good though. Like I like that they had characters who, like her one friend, just didn't get it and will never get it.
Exactly. That's what I was getting to. Is that they don't try to. They're not. But like they don't try to make a case for the cops or for the racists. They're just like these white people. They're trying. These other guys, well, fuck them. Like you don't need, like, and that, I liked that a lot. Like they didn't like the cop himself was just like it's clearly a racist act, but he's like just scared, irrationally scared.
Yeah, he's freaked out and in over his head. It's like, oh, this is just he's a person who arguably shouldn't have this power. Makes a terrible decision in a split second.
Yeah.
It's man.
It does a very good job at what it's trying to do, which is I think appeal to everybody and make everybody kind of see what's happening from a perspective you might not normally have. Like just right away a character where the main character is a young black girl, like that's someone whose life experiences are miles away from mine, and they do a great job at like you really like her in the first 10 minutes.
Oh, she's Rue from the Hunger Games.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah,
she's a grown-up Rue.
Yeah. No, she's great.
Yeah, and they
this movie is very well acted.
Oh yeah. Oh, the acting
everybody
is terrific.
Fucking Regina Hall, like everybody in it is amazing.
Yeah, it's hard. I don't have too much criticism of this movie because the worst case scenario in this movie is that it's sappy, and like who
at
gives
some
a shit?
points,
yeah, sappy is fine. Sappy is good.
Yeah, like so what? Yeah, like we like
it's tackling a very serious subject matter and doing it in a way that isn't simplifying it. Mm-hmm. That's just sort of like everybody feels real enough.
They don't have that, and that's one of the most cloying things about Traffic. Is it
Traffic
feels
or
the
Crash?
Not Traffic, Crash.
Okay.
Is that it feels the need to like have these characters, like have every one of their characters have an epiphany, and that just doesn't happen in real life. So it's in the last, well, not the last scene, but in like the climax when they find out that the police officer wasn't indicted, even though she testified for the grand jury.
Right.
And there's that protest, and she gets up on a car and starts, speaking through the megaphone about her friend. And it has the voiceover come in where it's just like the cops just don't care. They're not listening. And it's like she says something in the effect of the voiceover. It's like they're never going to hear us because they never want to hear us. And then they start shooting tear gas. It's like so you feel like every ounce of her frustration. Mm-hmm. And it's like this is... And they didn't feel the need. Yeah, they didn't feel the need to have any of the police officers be like, "Oh wait, they're right," because that fucking doesn't happen.
Yeah, and then she hucks the tear gas back at them, and you're like, "Yeah, do that." They do. It's a like the part at the end which needed to happen. Spoilers for The Hate U Give. I know everybody knows there's spoilers, but this is a movie I feel like everybody should check out.
It's good.
It's definitely a movie when
good.
When I first looked at it, I was like, oh, this is going to be sad, and I'm not going to like that idea of whenever a movie's about something of this subject, you don't expect it to be entertaining. This is one of the movies that like I was with it the whole movie. I was entertained, which is weird to say about a movie about this subject, but they make it. They make you like the characters. They make you on their side. You want to see what happens, and you're at the edge of your seat about it.
Yeah,
because while it's based off a real thing, it is also just kind of a classic thriller.
It's very much like it's one of those solid dramas that you just want to sit. It's almost 2.5 hours long, but
Right.
it's like you're just so in it. Like,
Yeah, I was really
this is
in
really
this.
good.
Yeah, because they add elements to it that, like, I think it was. Again, it's not a fault of the movie, but I think they knew they needed to keep it very dramatic, so they add in like the what's his name, the gang member, the
King Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, they got fucking Falcon, evil
Falcon running in there, terrorizing families.
Yes, and like he didn't like he technically didn't need to be in it in the sense that the main drama was her dealing with. I mean, that's not necessarily true, but it adds like just like an amount of danger to it that also makes it intriguing and like a thriller. And then like the end with the kid picking up the gun, like again that I felt like that was the closest we got to it being kind of Hollywood, which was the cops not doing anything. But it sort of needed to happen for the movie. And the message of the movie,
it's the repeated message of the film. You know,
Yeah.
they keep saying it. Thug Life. It's the Tupac song.
Yeah.
the hate you give.
The moment-
Little
oh.
Infants fucks us all.
yeah, the moment she gets in that car with him and they're listening to Tupac, and I realized we're like right ending the first act of the movie. I was just like, oh no, like this is not going to be good, and it wasn't. That scene was fucking so well done, so harrowing. The way it almost felt like a horror movie.
Yeah.
The way, like, because what happens is her friend, who he's driving her home from a party, goes to get a hairbrush from the car, and you know exactly what's going to happen, but he is shot like immediately, and you don't see it really coming, even though you know it's going to happen because the cop is like right there, ready to do it. It's horrifying.
Yeah.
Man,
Yep.
it's a really well made movie.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about, but it's also like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay. Where to begin with this? We can go through the plot. I mean,
Yeah.
you've already gotten the first piece of it. Is it's a young girl. The idea is she's torn between two worlds. Essentially, she's going to like a prep school because her father. The first scene is the father doing the talk with the kids.
Yeah, about what to do when you get pulled over.
Yeah, and it's like a sex talk where the mother is just sort of like, really, do we have to do this? And he's like, no, this is important, and like teaches them like what to do. And like right away, immediately, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, this is immediately a world I'm not familiar with personally.
Yeah. I mean, I got a what to do if you get pulled over talk, but it was not like this. Obviously,
Right.
It was like, oh, you know, you're very polite or whatever. I don't know. I don't even remember what it was, but it's just like right away you're like, oh, this is not an experience that I have ever had.
Yeah, I was thinking of the time I got pulled over. I didn't know I had gotten pulled over. I was 17. The cop pulled me over. I didn't see him do it. I drove into a 7-Eleven and got out of my car and started walking towards where the cop was, not knowing the cop had pulled me over. And I look up to see someone holding their holster but not shooting me, and it was just like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
And
But yeah, it's like one of her. It's just sort of a slow rollout, but we learned that one of her other friends was killed when she was like 10, and that's
Right.
when her mom insisted on sending them across town to a private school.
Right, and all three of these kids played Harry Potter. They all have Harry Potter wands.
Which makes me feel very old.
Yes. That bummed me out.
I was in motherfucking college when those movies came out.
I was working in a movie theater.
Yep.
When they were like, we used to play Harry Potter. I was like, you used to what? That didn't make sense. Why would you do that as adults? So yeah, they do a really good job of establishing the friendship and the connection between these people, and her kind of being stuck between this like private school that's full of white kids, who are, like it addresses kind of the white privilege stuff right away, where it's like they're using slang and listening to rap, but they don't have, they don't have to be afraid.
Yeah.
And then she has her friends from back home who she hangs out with as well. So she's like living between these two worlds to such an extent that when her friend is shot by the cops, no one at her school realizes that she's associated with them in any way. Mm-hmm. Which I thought was a really interesting detail. And then she's watching like her friends, a lot of them mean well, who are like trying to do the protests and Black Lives Matter, but also just like getting out of school.
Right. They're sort of they're just celebrating the idea. It's like, well, I mean, this is for a really good cause, and you didn't really want to go to math class today, did you? So it's like they're still
they're tackling it all on all ends. All ends. And that's the idea, is they have like, again, the kids aren't all like these like sneering racists. They're like white people who think they know they're meaning well, but are also like just not quite a part of it. Her boyfriend is the most well-meaning.
Her boyfriend, yeah,
Chris.
He says like the worst fucking thing though when he says, "I don't see color." You're like, oh my god.
Right, but he's trying so hard, and she's
trying so
and again,
hard.
Her character, she's so patient about this stuff because she knows he's trying.
Yeah, they really do show like, because her other friend, like she has that conversation with him where she's like, people don't have to say the N-word and be spraying us with fire hoses to be racist, because like her friend is being racist the whole movie, but it's just a series of microaggressions.
Well, she's also, I mean, her biggest thing is she pulls an all lives matter on her.
Yeah, sure does. Sure does.
Yeah, which is that idea, because the idea is that her friend who's shot, he was a member of a gang and he was dealing drugs, but he wasn't doing any of that.
Not at the
or
time.
Armed at the time.
Yeah,
exactly.
no.
So again, it's one of those things where they're like, where people are being like, yeah, but he was a gang member, like, and it's like, no, but he wasn't doing anything right that second. She has that great conversation with her. She has an uncle who's a cop.
Yeah, Common.
Yeah, that is Common, isn't it?
It super was Common. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew him. And they have a great moment where he explains in a very logical way why cops will shoot somebody, where they're like, we try to search them first, but we don't know, and it could be dark, and we can't see well, and we don't know, like, if you're in the car, we don't know if you've are a victim, and it all sounds very logical, and for a second you're like, yeah, that makes sense, and then she's like, but would you do that if it was a white guy in a Mercedes in a suit? And he was like, no. Like he can't. Yeah. He can't say yes to that, and that's what it is that it's like, it really doesn't matter how, like, it's irrelevant that they think they're being cautious or they're protecting themselves if it doesn't only applies to one group of people. And at one point she even like talks about it being more like also class based as well. Like, again, they tackle every aspect of this in a very good way, because it comes down to the fact that like it's so personal for her that like not even right away is she warming up to the protesting either, and like they don't make all the protesters look necessarily great because some of them are trashing things. They just show it all as good as they like. It's so well done.
Yeah, and even like the lawyer who's played by Issa Rae kind of comes off initially as a little like opportunistic almost.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, even she doesn't feel like 100% sympathetic towards her.
Right. It's that thing where, and they handle it so well, because it's that thing where like she, at first it's like, who gives a fuck about any of these people? Like it's so personal. It's her friend died and was killed by a cop.
Was there.
Yeah, and she saw it happen.
She just had to sit there and watch him die.
That was a great moment when she wakes up to her nightmares on the first day, and her dad's there waiting for her because he's been through it. Like, there's a few people along the way who's been through it and kind of can relate, and the way they handle it is very different than the way other people do, which is good.
Like when she wakes up from the nightmare and her dad's right there and she's throwing up and she's like, yeah, you just got to get it all out. You just got to feel it. You got to get it all out. And then later on when Anthony Mackie picks her up, he's just like, he kind of tells her the opposite thing, even though we know he's seen a few people die as well. He's just like, no, you just got to leave it in your rearview mirror. Yeah, put it behind you.
Because he has ulterior motives. I will say he was a little too sinister, I thought, because basically the reason he's angry is because she goes on the news with her face blurred and gives her side of it, and they ask her about her friend and drug dealing, and she specifically names the gang.
Yeah.
Which, like, I guess my issue is he's so mad at her for that, Anthony Mackie, but like that's not anything the cops didn't know, right? Like, they know who the biggest gang in the area is. Like, he acts like she rats him out, but it's like they already said he's a drug dealer, the cops. Mm-hmm. Like, they must have known, and they know that's a big gang. So I guess I found that a little... Like, I know they wanted that pressure from both sides, basically, where she's being called a snitch. Mm-hmm. But I didn't really... I don't know. It seemed like a lot for him to get that upset over.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I am nitpicking the shit out of this movie right now. Right. Don't get me wrong. It's more, I guess what I'm identifying is that this is a movie about a very important subject and tackles it really well, but it's clear that the writer knew it was also a movie.
A movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they need it to, like, again, that's what makes it so effective, is that I'm watching it and I want to see what happens, and I'm with it the whole way because it's adding these thriller elements.
Yeah.
Mainly being that this drug dealer now basically starts threatening the family, and starts like shooting at their house.
Yeah,
and beats up her brother.
Yeah, and sets fire to her dad's store.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's what leads into the ending, because there's that aggression. And then there's the cops, obviously. Mm-hmm. And then there's the protesters. And then at the end, it comes to this point where and her dad, who's also very angry. And that's where it kind of climaxes to the dad confronting the drug dealer and the cops showing up, and then her little brother picking up the dad's gun and pointing it at the drug dealer with the cops there. And of course it's a moment where you're like, oh shit, because the little brother's like I don't know, 8?
Like little
7,
if that.
Yeah,
he's like between 5 and 8.
Yeah. And it all goes into, like, you know, the title, The Hate You Give. And it's her stepping in between it all and telling them all to fucking stop, and they all do. And so it's like, it's kind of a miracle moment. Mm-hmm. But again, it's sort of the point. It's similar. It's funny. It's all similar to See You Yesterday, where the ending of that is her saying, I'm going to keep fighting. Mm-hmm. And that's sort of what this is too, because as we mentioned, the cop,
he gets off.
He gets off. Mm. And everything kind of sucks. And it's sort of the ending is her like,
everything sucks.
Everything really sucks in this movie, and you know, America, everything,
life in general.
So yeah, it's that message of like, not everything works out, but they get this one win, if you can call it that, which is a child isn't gunned down in the street by cops, and she is going to just keep going, and like that's all you can do. Fucking great.
Yep. Great. Anthony Mackie goes to jail.
Yeah, Anthony Mackie goes to jail for lighting up
for burning the store. Yeah, it's always tough when the movie is really good, because it's like we're like, well, what do we talk about?
Right. I mean, we could ask ourselves what Falcon would have done, but that seems in poor taste.
It does.
I mean, he would have. I mean, he would have just bombed everybody, I guess.
Yeah, whether he would have used his little bird drone.
Forgot he had that.
He sure does.
Weird. I'm glad he's, like, I hadn't seen this movie, and like appears to be a very good actor. I think Falcon.
He's really good in The Hurt Locker.
Oh right, I gotta watch that again, because Falcon doesn't do him justice, I don't think.
Well, I mean, most
not
of the superheroes don't do the actors
right.
justice.
Well, I guess what I mean is Falcon doesn't have much to do
That's
in
true.
general. Nor should he. Like, I'm not expecting him to. I'm just saying that it's nice to see him in this role because I realize that he is a very sinister man. And as Falcon, I did not feel that about him. But the moment he was in this,
Yeah.
he's way scarier than I realized he was capable of being. But it comes naturally. Like his eyes, like he does look kind of menacing now that I look at him in this. So yeah, it's fun to see him play. Like again, the acting in this, there's just man.
Yeah, across the board, it's very good.
Well, yeah, it's very. Did they win any awards for this? Do you know?
I looked it up. A bunch of independent awards.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like this could have gotten more awards.
Yeah.
Like, what did you say, 2017?
2018. This was last year.
2018? What the fuck happened in the Oscars last year?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Was last year The Shape of Water?
No, it couldn't have been. It was, fuck. I don't even remember. I'm sure it was a fine movie. Oh, it was The Star is Born didn't win. Oh, this is bothering me now. It was something else, but like I know like The Favorite and The Star is Born.
Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody.
Right. Yeah.
What the hell was the best picture? It was something. Oh, it was the fucking Green Book, wasn't it?
Oh my God. Yeah, this I mean, if you just put this next to Green Book, like, yeah,
that's right. That's right. Because Spike Lee was once again. He's like, once again, I got beat by the white savior movie.
Oh, poor Spike
Both
Lee.
times he's been nominated.
Yeah,
he loses.
He got best. Did he get best director? Or
I think he got best screenplay.
Oh, that makes sense. Those bastards. Anyway, yeah, this
Those bastards.
those fuckers.
Keep fucking over Spike Lee.
Yeah. Keep fucking over Spike Lee. This should have gotten, I don't know, this should have gotten something. I know it's not.
I feel like this should have got more attention.
Yeah,
Like
intention in general, yeah.
I remember the buzz when it was out, but I don't remember it being in a wide release.
Yeah, and I feel like more fucking people who don't understand what happened in Ferguson should watch this, and of course they won't. Why would they? And
that'd be like her shitty friend in the movie.
Yeah, I think more people in general should just watch this because I shouldn't say that I shouldn't act like I fully understood Ferguson. You know, like it's and that's what makes this movie is like it's just a really good practice in empathy and like showing a character and showing just what it's like from her perspective, and just being like, yeah, fucking have some goddamn empathy.
Yeah.
And so that's when it builds up to the point where her friend, when she says like, "Oh, cops' lives matter too," like you're like, "Yeah, fuck you," like, and there's no question of it. It's just like, no, fuck you.
Yeah. Gosh.
Especially since, and I wonder if they did this on purpose. They make it so the friend knows at that point that she was the witness, because again, at first she doesn't want to call that attention on herself, and that's sort of her arc, is going from like,
yeah,
I don't want this pressure, to it like kind of like, and in the end she takes the sides of the protesters, because they are the best side in all of this. Everybody is angry, you know, no one is in their best form, but like the protesters are the most right people in this movie. Right,
and she wants to speak for her friend. Like, it starts with her first friend that got killed was shot by a gang member, and she didn't want to say anything because she didn't want to get shot or retaliated against, and that's part of why she initially doesn't want to do the grand jury testimony. But then, she decides that
it's neat
she's got to speak for her friend.
And I should have known why they did this ahead of time, but you think it's leading to the grand jury testimony. You think that's going to be the goddamn like climax.
Nope.
Where
it's barely even show it.
Yep, they barely even show it because it doesn't fucking matter. And that's the point, is that like, no, this shit isn't going to work itself out in court. Like, that's not how this works. And that's when you realize like, oh yeah, no, there's no justice here. And then that's like the climax of that arc is on the streets at the protest when she takes the bullhorn and basically says, I am the witness, and gives a speech. Very good. This fucking movie.
Yep. Goddamn movie, man.
Yeah. Did I mention to people it's free on HBO right now? It's on HBO now.
Yeah, it's on HBO.
Yeah, I really think people should watch it.
There were some, just fun moments too.
Oh, for sure.
Like when
there were fun moments.
Her boyfriend drops her off at her house.
Oh my God.
Her dad is at first convinced he's the chauffeur.
Yeah, that was fun. Although it gets kind of serious because her dad is angry that she brought home a white kid.
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he's not like, you can tell he'll get over it, and he does pretty immediately. But like, it's the running theme of this movie, but that's so fucking, I wanted a whole movie of that. That's a different movie, obviously.
Yeah.
That's Guess Who, starring Ashton Kutcher, which is a terrible movie.
Yeah.
But that was wonderful, where he tries to hand him money.
He's trying to tip him, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the boyfriend, he's doing his best.
Yeah.
Like, he's so goofy and like,
yeah, he's looking like a real Patrick Bateman too.
He does, I guess. But that's sort of the point. I don't know. I love her perspective. At the beginning, she's like describing them, her love interests and stuff like that, and just seeing it through her eyes and why she likes these people. It makes immediately like you're endeared to him. Like I was endeared to him, and I was watching the movie like, you better not make him an asshole. Like, movie, he seems very nice, and again, he's not perfect, that's for sure. But he's just trying so hard. He likes her so much, and he doesn't understand, but he wants to. And like, it's him insisting that he wants to come home and meet her father. And he has like, his arc is him looking at her during the protests and basically just saying, tell me what you want me to do. Yeah. Like, just tell me what to do right now. And it's like the best thing he could say at that moment is just like, give me an order, I will follow it. Yeah. Because I don't know what else to do. I haven't I think that's what it is with a lot of her friends from the private school, is they all like have opinions and they all want to tell her how to act. And he's like the only one who's like sort of just, he seems to have finally acknowledged that he doesn't understand what the fuck's going on or he doesn't have any advice to her, like he's listening to her.
Yeah, there's that scene in the limo where she's like, I've watched 2 people die. Have you ever done that? He's like, no. Yeah. And she's like, I feel like, I was friends with Khalil, who's her friend that got killed, for years and years. He ate dinner at our house 5 years in a row, and then I just stopped talking to him. She's like, I turned my back on my people. Do you know what that feels like? And he's like, no. Yeah. Because he does the best thing he can do as like one of the few white guys in this movie is he just shows a little fucking like humility in the situation. He just shuts the hell up.
Yeah.
And recognizes when he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, exactly. It's very nice to see that in a movie.
Yeah. Let's see what else. I'm trying to think of what else to talk about. It's just really fucking good.
Yeah, it's really good. I think about, you probably did. I think about our friend Star, who complains that there are no characters named after her.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And I was like, well, there's one in a movie that's a real tragedy, but it's about a young girl named Star who's a Harry Potter fan.
That's true.
Yeah. That's pretty funny. Yeah. That's pretty interesting. I mean, it's tough. This movie, it has a lot of... Oh, yeah. Speaking of actually the name Star, I liked the father and his names because he's like passionate about them. He names one of them, his son is 7, his daughter is Star, and then his other son is... Ah, shit, I forgot it.
Oh, shoot. It means joy.
It means joy. And the whole thing is he's like... He named them stuff to inspire them, which is like a really, really great. And he uses that constantly. And then when he meets Chris, the boyfriend, he's like, what kind of fucking name is that? Like, he's like offended that people aren't more creative with names, which I really liked.
Sakani, that was the little kid's name.
Okay. Which means joy.
Means joy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that freaking scene where he lines them up in the yard.
Oh, it's so good because you're not sure if he's mad at them or not, and it's because what happens is, and this was a gut-wrenching scene, is she testifies, and then they go have dinner afterwards, and they're celebrating, and then shit, what happens? Oh, Anthony Mackie comes and ruins it, and then the father walks out to yell at him, and then the cops show up like assholes, and
Anthony Mackie takes off, and then they start arresting the dad.
Yeah. And they start fucking with the son too, I think, right? And then they see her and they realize she's the witness, and they're like, "Oh, we better not."
Yeah, we better get out of here.
Yeah, and they do.
And the one cop is just like, "Consider this a warning," and it's like, "Fuck her for what?
Fuck you guys
for fucking what?"
Yeah, I hate that shit. Yeah. And the idea is she feels guilty because she testified,
right,
and she's apologizing in the car and says that she'll be quiet or something like that, and that's when he gets pissed and he has them all go out and he has them recite one of the Black Panther what are they called?
One of the creeds or one of the rules.
One of the rules.
Yeah, he gives it to them in the beginning after he gives them the cop talk.
Yeah.
So we know it's a discipline that he's been, enforcing as they've grown up.
Right, and it's basically him saying like, why would you be quiet? Like this is
because
it's like, him being mad. He's not mad that she spoke, that she testified. He's mad that she's now saying that she wouldn't testify,
right?
Or that she's sorry she testified, and so it's just like it's like a nice, powerful moment.
It's a excellent scene, man. Everybody in this movie is so good,
so fucking good.
Yeah, man,
this movie's really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, if you haven't already, you should go watch it.
Yep.
I mean, okay, I guess if you like a good like drama, you should watch it. If this is too heavy for you, I mean, I just think it's a pretty important film in terms of a perspective of something that's a real problem in America. Like, it's also just a really well-made, well-done movie with amazing performances in it. So, like, the film geek in me was just like, this is a really fucking good movie.
Yeah.
So it's got that going for it, you know?
It's one of those, it sounds, like you were saying earlier, it sounds weird to say it of a movie this type, but it's one of those just like dramas that just like grabs you.
Right.
You're like hard so fucking excited while you're like, oh fuck yeah, this is one of those movies.
Yeah, where you're like, I want to see what happens. I want to stay with this for.
I got to sit here for 3 hours and watch this shit.
And again, it seems weird because of the subject matter, but it's like
it's just because it's so good and it's so well acted and it's so compelling and it's just a very good movie.
I mean, this director, he did the Barbershop films, which are also, I think, pretty funny films. At least the first one I remember really enjoying. I haven't watched it in a while, though. But it's a good director, is my point. The writer, I didn't look into the writer. I know it's based off a novel. So that makes sense why it's well thought out and well written and all that.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of talent here. I'm excited. I need to look up these actors and just see what they're up to, because I mean, the only one I believe I know is Common, and then Falcon there. And that's I think that's the only, and I guess and from Hunger Games, Rue,
Regina Hall played the mom.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess all right. I discovered I don't know what Regina Hall looks like. Right.
Oh. She's in Girls Trip.
Yeah, I know her name. I don't know.
That movie Little that just came out.
I want to see Little.
She's been in a lot of stuff.
Little. It's a reverse Big. So you call it Little. Big. Yeah.
Exactly.
That one looked like, I don't know. That's I want to see that. I'm going to see that. I'm going to watch Little. It's a good palate cleanser.
Probably.
Yeah. God damn. Yeah, okay. This movie, I mean, all right. I think people have gotten the point. This movie, it takes a lot out of you, but you don't feel like you don't feel depressed at the end.
No, it's
it's a sad subject with a lot of bittersweet moments and some genuinely funny moments. And just it's I don't know.
It's just really fucking good, man.
It's just real good. You should watch it. I don't know. What the fuck's wrong with you guys?
Goddamn movie, you jerk.
Yeah, watch that shit.
The hell are you doing with yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. These are. We say this all the time.
We're good.
But yeah, it's tough when the movie.
This will be a short one. Yeah, it is. It's tough when the movie is either really good or really boring. This was definitely. I mean, this was. A movie can be really good, but it has to be really good and weird. This is pretty straightforward. At least upon first watching it, because you literally just watched it. So did I. So it's also like.
I mean, I think that's probably. It's just it's straightforward, but it's very well crafted. It's a straightforward, like classic, well crafted drama that's just, man. Like I feel every part of it is good.
Yeah, I feel like I'd have more to say if I thought about this more, but that's the point of this podcast, is we immediately talk about it.
Yeah. These are our immediate reactions.
Yeah, our first impressions. But I'm going to be thinking about this movie for a while, which I think is also probably the point of the movie. So yeah, I mean, everybody go fucking watch The Hate U Give.
Yeah.
Thanks, John, for recommending it.
Yeah. By recommending it,
forcing us to watch
making us watch it.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I wasn't looking forward to watching this only because I didn't really know what it was about, and it just I knew the premise, and I expected it to be a lot sadder, and of course it is sad.
Yeah, but it's kind of like an uplifting message.
Yeah, exactly.
Somewhat.
That's what it is.
It doesn't end like when it ends. You're not feeling like, oh my god.
It's just I don't know. It just pulls you in. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's hard to describe it in any other way. It's just a very important subject done in a way that's very intriguing and very well done. And I can't stress enough. I think what really did it was that the actors and the characters are great, and you really like them immediately.
Yeah,
and you want to know that they're going to be okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I just looked this actress up, and she is going to be in a remake of Fear.
Huh. God damn it, Hollywood. just like, hey, you from the Hunger Games, do this one really important movie. All right, go do Fear.
Go do a Fear remake.
Now, Jesus fucking Christ.
Anyway.
They should just get Mark Wahlberg back.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, he gets scarier every time I see him.
Yeah, he's like the picture of Dorian Gray.
Yeah.
He just grows more frightening as the years go by.
He really does.
Shit,
guys.
That's enough. I think that's enough. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for listening, you guys.
Thanks for listening to us ramble about this film.
Yeah, this is a toughie. So if you are interested in making us watch movies, as we mentioned earlier, this is part of our Patreon, which is patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We don't just have that tier. We have many more tiers. We have a tier where you can watch an exclusive role-playing game that we stream. We have a tier where you watch movies with us every Friday. And then we have a tier with exclusive podcasts, such as Fox Mulder is a Maniac and Tom and Jeff Watch Batman. Great podcasts. So they're some of the best podcasts that exist.
This is true. This is accurate.
Oh no! Would I lie? Would I lie about this thing?
You would not.
Oh, you can believe old
wouldn't.
Dave. Yeah.
We also have a store, tpublic.com/stores/gamefullyunemployed, where you get shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
If you want to do that, you can do that.
Do that. And, watch this movie and maybe check out Little as well. It looks fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll watch that.
Yeah, fuck it. I totally forgot that movie existed. Now I'm, excited to rediscover it. Because I saw the trailer months ago. I was like, oh, Little. It's like big but opposite.
It's big in reverse.
Yeah.